Hi, I'm Katie Hacker, and today on Beads, Baubles and Jewels, designer and inventor Jill MacKay is here to shape our story by using dies to cut leather into stacking shapes. Welcome, Jill.
Hi, Katie. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. I'm so excited to have you here because, you know, cutting leather, look at all the stuff you can make. It's amazing.
It's pretty exciting, I have to say.
Great ideas here. And you can
you.
just stack all of these different shapes together, and you designed these dies.
I did.
Very cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, so it sounds like there are some special things we need to know, though.
There is. We could talk about the dies, but the first thing is we're going to use a die cutting machine to cut leather.
All right.
That's a little different.
So you raid your craft closet, and you can do some of these really intricate things at home.
That's right. So let's talk about the dies. This is a steel rule die, and it's a heavy-duty die that cuts the thicker leather. And this is a thinner, wafer-thin die, they call them, and it cuts the thinner lamb skin. And what that allows you to do is to layer the leather, not just even in two layers, but far more layers that we're going to do on our project a little later. But I'd really like to show you just how to do the cutting.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Okay,
let's do that.
super. Well, the first thing we're going to do is use the steel rule die. And what you're going to do is place the die on the cutting pad, and you want to take the leather face down to the die is face up, so you have a nice cutting surface, and put a cutting pad in. It's super easy. You just roll it through, roll it back, and look how easily that cut.
All right, so you get your background shape.
I got
cool,
that.
Or you could use this for a lot of different things, but I can see how this is gonna layer together here.
Yes.
All right.
So now this one has a little bit different configuration. So we'll take this out. And we need our platform and a different die.
Okay, so this piece is what you use when you're using a really thin
The thinner,
die.
so we're building up the platform, that's right. And this time we're going to use the thin leather, and it's going to go face up onto the cutting platform, and the die will go face down.
Okay, and face down is the side of it.
That's
it
the
looks
cutting
like
side.
Okay.
We'll put another cutting pad on top and run it through the machine.
That is so easy.
It's really easy. Anyone can do. Oops. Now with these intricate dies, you have to start it at the corner to get it out. But once you do, look at how beautiful that is.
That is.
It's crazy.
And you drew all of these, which is,
I did.
I love that I can make jewelry using your art.
Oh, thank you. I'm happy to see my work in your work. Before you're going to put your dies away, you see all the negative spaces, how the leather's stuck in there. Just so you're ready next time, you just take this little die cleaning tool and make a big mess all over your table.
So you just want to brush it all out?
You do. Get it ready for next time and then set it aside.
You know I'm not going to do that until the next time I get my dies out. Is that going to mess it up?
Well, you can do it then too. I just like to do it ahead of time. You're fine.
I'm a last minute girl, okay?
You could be last minute, it's fine.
That sounds like a good idea, though, to keep it all ready when you're ready to get making.
That's right. Then, so I designed the dies so they match. So this is like a shadow die, right?
Right.
So you get the beautiful background showing through. Excuse me.
Cool.
There you go. It's
What a great
lovely.
idea. And this necklace right here, you used that same pattern and layered them together, and it looks like you hooked it together with some beaded links at the top.
I did. And
that
if
looks
you'll
great.
notice, I took this die, which is on this pattern here, and I just glued those two sides together to make it nice on both sides, because this is a natural material, right?
So it's
there's a
suede on
good
the back.
side and a bad side.
Right, that's a good idea to glue to both sides. That way you can use it as a link like that.
Well, that's right, and it flips around and it looks good on either side.
Incorporating it into your work. And then these examples here are more ideas for layering.
That's right.
And then this is an example of how different sizes of the bracelet.
Yes.
So you can make a longer one, a shorter one, depending on who it's for.
That's right. I wanted to be considered of all shapes and sizes.
That's a really good idea.
I thought so. We like it.
I like the way that you layered these together. We're going to talk a little bit about layering flowers together in a minute.
We are.
But the sparkle sure catches my eye in the middle there.
You like it, the sparkle.
That's right. And let's talk a little bit about these pieces over here, where you've layered some more shapes.
Well, I have. And here again, we have a background die, a steel rule, and then the decorative die. And look how nicely they fit together. So it just aids in the design process for people doing this at home, makes it easy to do. It's so easy to do that I'm hoping lots of people will do it.
Well, you can make a lot of these in a hurry, and a lot of people are selling their own jewelry and making it for gifts, and I could see whipping up a little something to match your outfit before you go to work in the
That's
morning.
right. You know
well,
what?
Maybe the night before, right?
Well, no, actually, you know what? I think I made this bracelet in about 20 minutes, so
Very cool.
we could whip you out one right now.
Sounds good. Well, let's take a break, and we'll come back and make the flower bracelet.
Super.
All right, we'll be right back. You are going to love learning how to make this bracelet. It is so pretty, Jill. I love stacking flowers.
I do too, and I love that the dies stack, so you can use the different thicknesses of leather and get more layers, or use the thicker leather and just do a couple of layers.
Okay.
But we're going to learn the multi-layer.
Let's do it.
All right. Well, the first thing we're going to do is cut the base bracelet. So we're going to take the steel rule die, put it face up onto the platform, take our white leather, and we're going to turn it and put it face down so the good side of the leather is facing the cutting blades. Put your cutting pad on.
So that's so any exposed edges would be on the back, right? Like when you're putting it, because you're putting the smooth side of the leather face down,
Yes.
it cuts up through those fibers, right?
It does, and it's a cleaner cut coming through the tanned side of the leather.
Got it.
And you get less fuzzies along the edge.
Okay,
So
good.
you'll get a cleaner edge. And we'll run it through the machine. I should let you do to see how easy it is.
There you go.
I always run it back through, just to make sure.
Cool, so you can make your own cuffs.
Well, you can make a lot of things with this. So it's very simple. There's a little fuzzy, but not much. So we can set this aside for now.
Okay.
The next thing we're going to do is set our snaps. And we have, this is a riveting tool that also sets the snaps, and it has dies in it. And what we're going to do is first we're going to take, we're going to take the crystal part and put it face down into the bottom. And we're going to take the other part and put the flat side facing up.
Okay.
Snaps right in. And you take your, you got to remember to put it face down because the crystal side we want on the good
Yes.
side. So
You only do that one time the other way around, right?
Right. And what you can do, what's nice, is you can close the jaws of this tool and get the placement just where you want it. And I like it about 1/4 of an inch from the edge, or it starts to pucker a little. But when you have it where you want it, you simply squeeze.
Easy.
It is easy. So that's the female half of the clasp. Let's do one of the other half. So we have to change out the die heads. Thank you.
No problem.
This bottom one just drops in. And we'll tighten it up a little bit.
Okay.
And this is the top one.
All right, and you know what? I think this is a great way of replacing snaps too. You can use this tool to do that.
You can use this tool to fix your jeans,
Right.
if you want
That's
to.
right.
Okay, now we're going to take the male half of the clasp, and we're going to simply insert it. There's a little hole up here. We're going to snap it right in.
Okay.
And this is the other half. Simply put it on the bottom and check your leather. This time we're going to do it face up, right? Because we want
make
it
sure
to,
it matches.
That's right. So again, we're going to close the jaws, and we're going to get it right where we want it and squeeze.
All right.
I
Very
don't
good.
think that could be easier, right?
Super easy.
Yeah, so that works.
That looks great, and you don't have to pre-punch a hole or anything.
No holes for the
Good.
snaps.
Okay, so we have our cuff, and here's one that has both all ready to go.
That's right. Next comes the flowers. And you cut the flowers the same way you cut we have them pre-cut for us here. And then I've stacked them from the largest shape to the smallest. And what we're going to do is take one of these lovely crystal rivets with a really long shank and start stacking. So you just want to make sure that each of these rivets goes all the way through. On the top of the rivets are these prongs that make it a little difficult at times, so you have to work it through. But I call it a crown because it looks like a little
I see.
crown.
That's the part that's going to separate once it's
That's going to
smushed together,
that'll
the technical
attach.
term there.
So you just put them through, but sometimes it likes to argue with you, like right now, of course.
Okay,
So you just work it.
looks good.
And if if you don't stop and clean your dies, sometimes the hole doesn't come completely clean. You can just use your hole cutter. Okay, so I've got that all the way through and it's showing good. And what I'm going to do for placement is simply take that and use it as a marking. I'm going to make a mark.
Oh, okay.
You see the little prongs?
Yes.
Now it's not directly in the center. So when I take my hole cutting tool, I'm going to center that because I want it to be centered.
You just want it about the right spot.
Right. So we're just going to punch a hole.
Okay.
Make sure the hanging chad is gone.
Yeah. We don't want any of those sticking around.
Oh, we do need this tool. We've got to change this out.
Okay, so it's the same one, we're just changing out the head for the riveting.
Now we're going to the riveting. So there's 2 parts to the rivet, just like the snaps. And you just screw this up inside.
And there are other types of riveting tools, but this particular one is good for using with crystals.
It is.
Because it has those specially designed cups that fit in there to protect it when you do the process.
They're exactly the right size. So, okay, so we've got our riveting tool ready. And we're gonna, so we've got 4 layers here. This is a 5th layer. That's a lot of layers, but we're able to do it. Just work your fingers, making sure those prongs are all the way out.
Okay.
Get your tool ready. This is the back of the rivet, and you put it in so the textured side is up.
Okay.
And then while holding your flower stack, place it in the top, bring it down, press.
So easy,
Simple.
and look how perfect it looks on the back.
It's really a clean finish.
Sure, this is boutique jewelry that you can make at home.
It is, and it's simple.
Right, let's see you cut one of these flowers, because I know we cut the cuff, but let's cut a flower too.
Okay.
And you can cut all of these shapes you can use with your thicker or thinner, is that correct, with this?
With this die, you can cut either leather.
Okay.
That's correct. With the thinner dies, you only cut one. And I wanted to point out that these dies are magnetic.
Oh my gosh.
I know. So they stick. You know what I used to at home in the studio is I put a knife. You know how you have magnetic knife holders?
Yes.
It's great for my dies. I love it.
Okay, let's take a look at the back here. So
these are little magnets then.
Very good. So you can hang it up on your knife rack. Good idea.
All right. Now, the nice thing about being able to move these different shapes around is that if you've got a piece of leather that's already been cut, you want to be able to move it around so you can use all of your leather, no matter where it's at.
So take advantage of the whole space.
Right. Let's put these in a row, though, since we're cutting.
Okay.
So you simply lay the leather face down, and the dies are face up.
All right, so you can do them all at once.
Yeah, you can.
So it's fast, too.
It's very fast. And these are really intricate dies. So what I do is place a finger down and pull the leather up.
Okay.
It's very simple.
Then you can pull them apart, too.
That's it. You have a little bit of little fluff along the edges, and you just
sweep it away.
That's it.
Well, there are so many different combinations that you can do, too. Let's take a look at some of your projects here with the layered flowers. And let's start out with the brown necklace.
The brown and bronze, it's very pretty. This is a base die here, and all of this is thick leather. Just riveted together and a few jump rings, and I bought a chain that was all ready to go. It was so simple.
The turquoise necklace is really beautiful too, and it features some strap along the side.
Yes,
that's one of my favorite
wonder
looks.
where I got that idea.
That's a great idea. I like it. And combining some
too.
different check glass beads in there too.
Yeah, and if
so
you
get
look
some
here,
really
I
beautiful
actually
looks.
I made holes in the little pieces of metal and just stitched the leather on. They're not even glued on.
Oh, let me flip that one up so we can see the back. So there it is, stitched onto metal. So you can combine a lot of different mixed media effects.
Yes, which is also another.
And did you die cut the metal too?
Nope, those were pre-cut
Those are
shapes.
cut? All right.
Just
Cool.
one of the stamping shapes.
Neat. And then these flower bracelets down here are some different techniques. The one with the blue and white is kind of similar to what we made.
That's
with
very
a little
similar
more
to
space.
this. And this is as well. This has been glued on, and we'll be doing a project showing you how to do a little gluing too. It's very simple. Just glue it on
All
and
right,
press it
so
down.
we'll have to tune into a different episode to see you glue the leather together.
That's right.
And then on the turquoise bracelet with the silver pieces inside, I love those rivetable shapes.
Thank you.
The metal
I like them
shapes
too. You
go
know,
right
Tammy
through.
made that.
All right.
Yeah. It's great.
Very pretty. So another friend of ours designing on another episode as well?
Yes, we love
Very
to
good.
mention our friends.
That's right.
Credit where credit is due.
That's right. So Jill, before we go, let's just talk a tiny bit about your art, because you are a jewelry maker to outer space. I like to say to the stars, but you said no.
Are you calling me
no.
spacey?
Not at all. Not at all. But it's so amazing to me the way that you broke into television through making your jewelry. And people can look online and learn more about you, I know.
That's
but
true.
you also create public art.
I do.
I mean, you've really taken your art and turned it into a wearable livelihood too,
It's
which is
not
inspiring.
just a way of making a living, it's a way of making a life, and I love my life. It loves me back.
Can you tell us the Star Trek story?
Sure.
Okay.
I had already been designing for the guiding light, and I was in working on my jewelry, and the young man that cuts my yard came in to use the bathroom, and he goes, "Your jewelry's so weird, it could go on Star Trek." And I thought, what a great idea. So I called him. It was just that simple. I sent him jewelry, and 2 days later, the costume director called me, and he's like, "Your jewelry is going where no jewelry has gone before." I thought it was cheesy,
I
but
love that
I
he
was
said
pretty
that. I love it.
excited. I do too. It was
Very
fun.
exciting.
Yeah, and it really helped open a lot of doors.
I'm sure, and you've won tons of design contests with your work too.
Thank you.
I mean-
Okay, enough. You're embarrassing me.
Well, I think it's inspiring to
Thank
see
you.
people who are making a living from their art.
Thank you.
It really is. So
I'm
thanks for
proud of
being
it.
here with us
You're
today
quite welcome.
and showing us your new invention. This is great.
Thanks, Katie.
All right.